We are back with the Screen Team here on today's Talk 930 KWOC. It's the Chris Berger birthday edition of the show. We're doing all movies that I love for my birthday.
And you're such a diva on your birthday, might I add.
Well, it is my birthday. I can be a diva if I want to. We're being joined by Sabrina once again, and we're being joined by a special guest, my sister, Angie. Angie, how are you doing?
Good. Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you very much. We put you on this particular segment of the show because not only is this one of my favorite movies, this is also one of your favorite movies as well. It's When Harry Met Sally, right?
That's correct.
Why don't you talk a little bit about, you and I have watched this over and over and over and over again. Do you remember first watching this film? I mean, do you remember like the first time you ever saw this film?
I think the first time I saw it was pretty much at the end. It was on one of those Sunday morning movie editions right after church, and I saw the very end of it, and it was like, well, this seems interesting. It's a love story. What's happening with it? So I guess I found it later on and decided to watch it, and then you and I, over the years, just started doing the dialogue, and every now and then we'll break out the dialogue to one another.
So what is it about this film that you like? And not just that, it's not a movie that you just like, but it's a movie that you keep watching over and over again. It's the same thing with me. What is it about this film that keeps you going to it?
I think it's Billy Crystal, his humor. He does a really good job just being an off-the-wall kind of guy, and his chemistry with Meg Ryan. They just are very compatible with each other, and it's a love story, but yet there's a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like it too. Sabrina makes fun of me because I like, romantic comedies, but I like good romantic comedies.
Right.
And I like romantic comedies where the lead male is charming and funny, and he not necessarily the Prince Charming kind of guy, but the kind of guy like the everyday kind of guy. And that's what Billy Crystal does.
I have just had a moment of clarity. You want to be him.
I want to be Billy Crystal?
Yeah. You want to be him mixed in with Adam Sandler, but you want to, more importantly, you want to be him in this movie. Like you see yourself as Harry.
How do you figure that?
Clever and quippy and the ladies' man and always in control, even though you're never in control. You think you're Harry.
Well, you're definitely Sally.
I'll take it on the side with a little dash of this. And if you don't have that, then I don't want anything at all, and you can change the order completely. Yeah, it's totally me.
You are the worst kind of woman. You are high maintenance, but you think you're low maintenance.
I guess that's why we work, babe.
That is definitely why we watching that. Before we got into the recording studio, we watched it at home, and they've got those scenes with the older couples, and they're kind of going through how they met and stuff like that. That just reminds me of something like Sabrina and I would do. We would get on a documentary or something, and we would try to tell the story of how we met, and we would
talk over each other and
interrupt
answer each other.
Yeah.
Like you were wrong. No, you don't remember it correctly. It's this way, and then you would remember it this way, and yet both ways would probably be correct.
Well, technically, mine would be right. You do like to embellish a lot.
But it would still be correct because it's the way I saw it.
Sabrina, are you a fan of this film? Because I know that you don't like romantic comedies.
It's not that I don't like them.
Don't.
See how you put words in my mouth? You're such a pain.
You have said this before on this show.
I don't like romantic comedies.
You do not like romantic comedies. I'm going to go through the archives, and I'm going to post it. See, Sabrina does not like romantic comedies.
Okay, maybe I have said that. It's possible.
You see what I'm talking about?
Poplar Bluffs. If you like this kind of dialogue, you will love the movie.
It's so true.
It is true.
I do like the movie, but it's never a movie I want to just pull up and watch. I'm not like the two because I'm not drawn to the genre. So for me to say I don't like romantic comedies,
you just said
is a generalization. It's not that I don't like them. I just am not drawn to them. It's not how I want to spend my time sitting there musing over somebody else's heartache and pain and stupidity in love.
I would rather watch a slasher.
I would rather make fun of somebody in a slasher flick who was too dumb to get up and stay in the house or get out of the house, depending on which one you were supposed to do.
Right.
So it's just a personal preference, but of the genre, I do like this movie. And I do agree with Angie. Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal are just perfection when it comes to being two people they cast to play these parts, because not only do they have to pretend that they hate each other, they also have to make us believe that they're so stupid for not seeing themselves for what they are.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to pull off, but they do it marvelously.
There's little things in Meg Ryan's performances that, and especially in this movie, that I really, really like. You know, you can see at the very end, you know, when Billy Crystal tries to come and save the day and sweep her off her feet, you know, you see her reaction. She doesn't say anything, but you see it in her eyes. Like, she first sees him, and she's like, you know, she kind of gives the look like, I'm mad at you right now, you know.
Yeah.
And then she does other looks where she's like, where she's in love with him, you know, where they first hook up for the first time, and she's got these eyes where she's like, you know, she does like facial expressions in this movie so well.
She's perfect for this character, and I don't think they should ever try to remake this movie.
I agree.
But I will say that not only are they perfect, but for whatever ad-libbing grace they were given, that's perfection as well, because I know there's scenes where they just gave them a little artistic freedom with the dialogue, but at the same time, the movie was written wonderfully too. I mean, it's like a timeless movie. It doesn't matter that it was made in the 90s or whatever, but it's
89.
just it's late 80s, but it's just that you don't even care. Like, there's some movies we've seen where you're just like, you're slapped in the face with the time period, and you can't get past it. But in this particular case, I think no one will ever say, oh gosh, look at what they're wearing, because you're too enraptured by what they're saying and doing and feeling.
And Sabrina said about ad-libbing. Angie, one of our favorite scenes is an ad-lib.
Pecan pie?
Yes, the part where he goes, we are going to talk to the rest of the day like this. Basically, Billy Crystal made that part up, and Rob Reiner just looks at Meg Ryan and says, just go with it. And she does, and I mean, that is one of the best parts of the movie. It's just so funny and so out there.
Of course, Billy Crystal had that part. Meg Ryan had her part with the diner scene,
Yes.
Which is probably one of the most famous scenes in the in the entire movie.
Every woman fakes it.
Yeah, that's what she says, and
And-
of course, go ahead.
And the woman who says, I'll have what she's having, that's Rob Reiner's mother.
Yeah.
That's got to be kind of uncomfortable.
Yes.
Okay, Mom, I want you to be in this scene, and I want you to say this line afterwards.
I guarantee you she was like, put me in your movie. I want to say that line. Okay, Mom, whatever you want.
So do you have any favorite scenes, Sabrina? No?
We've talked about them. I mean, the highlights, obviously, but
Okay.
I do like where the double blind date backfires. That's a fun scene.
Okay, Angie, who do you think is going to like this movie? Do you think this is just a chick flick, or do you think guys can like it as well?
I think guys can like it. I mean, Billy Crystal does a great sense of humor, and it's kind of like disturbing, and it talks about romance, I guess, and in a disturbing way. So I mean, the guys will like it.
Well, he speaks for every man in the world.
Yeah, he kind of does. Sabrina, who's going to like this film? Not you, obviously, but who will like this film?
Oh, it's a grown-up film, but I mean, late teens could get a heavy dose of what it's like out of college. This is what life is like when you get out of school and you're out of the enclosure of high school romance. This is real-world stuff.
Right. The movie's called When Harry Met Sally, and you can find it on DVD. Angie, thank you for being on the birthday show. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Sabrina, thank you for being on the show as well.
Dragged me kicking and screaming the whole way, man.
Every time, every week, man. So the birthday show's over, but I'll have another birthday next year.
Yes, you will.
Next week, we've got Maisha on the show.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing movies called Cesario. We're also going to be doing Creed, the new Rocky film, and Straight Outta Compton.
Have mercy.
It's going to be awesome. Remember, you can check out the Screen Team every Saturday at 6 p.m., and you can check us out on the World Wide Web at screenteampb.com.
Check us out. Check us out. Check us out.
We are just like When Harry Met Sally. For Angie, Sabrina, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on KWOC.